So one thing I would like to ask you, how many times you have seen around you, your friends, your relatives, your family members, they adopt some nutrition pattern, they, follow a dietitian or a simple, fancy or maybe or any other diet pattern, they lose some weight and after 3 months they go back to their lifestyle and they start gaining that weight back, right?
What are micros? What are macros? And why are they both important?
Now, what are macros and micros? The word itself tells you macro means in the big quantity, larger quantity. Micros mean in a smaller quantity. So macros are carbohydrates, protein and fat. All your meals are made up of these macros, right? Micros, we need them in a very small quantity, vitamins and minerals, but they are, equally crucial.
And when is the time when you know that boss, you need somebody like Baljeet, to help me through that?
Yes. If you want to eat mindfully, maintain your weight, lose weight, and you don't want to give up on your lifestyle, or you don't want to give up on your ambitions, you don't want to give up on your work, right? That is where we play a vital role, because we need we understand your lifestyle, we understand the challenges you have, and we give you the customized solution.
All right, everyone. Healthy morning and welcome to the Aura Health Hour. This is episode number 7 and I know you're surprised. Where is the host? आज कोई और ही आके बैठा है यहाँ पे, है ना? Well, today is a special episode and as they say, it's a 7-year itch. So it's the 7th episode itch. The host today is our guest and we are going to talk about nutrition and lifestyle with her. With me is Baljeet Kaur Ramsingani, who is an amazing nutritionist and lifestyle coach. And she's going to talk about how we are going to work with our health and nutrition today and how to use nutrition in our lifestyles. So let's quickly get on to it without further ado. So I would like to push it off to Baljeet. Baljeet, let's hear from Baljeet today.
So healthy morning, friends. Yes, this is a special episode for me because today I'm going to talk about the topic which is very close to my heart, that is nutrition and lifestyle. And we have an amazing host with us. So over to you, Bali.
So Baljeet, you know what? Weight. That is what everybody keeps on talking about. And weight is the method people say you're healthy or not. But to start with, I would like you to explain why nutrition and, plays such a vital role in our overall health and well-being, not just weight.
Yes. So Bali, today we are going to talk about that. Weight. I met a friend after 5 years last week, and she just looked at me and she said, you have lost a lot of weight. Sometimes you meet somebody after 10 years and they'll just look at you. The first thing they'll say is, you have gained a lot of weight. You must have lost or gained a lot of things in these 5 or 10 years. But the first thing they look up to is, you have lost a weight or you have gained weight, right? How many times you approach a dietitian, how many times you speak to your family or friends and then say that I want to, meet a nutritionist or a dietitian because I want to prevent some diseases. I want to correct some lifestyle disorders. Not really, right? The first thing you say to a dietitian is, I want to lose 10 kgs in 3 months. That is the new, everybody wants to lose 10 kgs in 3 months. I don't know where this 10 kgs comes from. So today we are going to speak about how you can adopt right nutrition as your lifestyle. Nutrition is not only about weight management. Nutrition is not only about physiological looks. Nutrition is your part of the lifestyle. Nutrition has to be, used as the preventive measure for, preventing lifestyle disorders, diseases. If you have some disorders in your genetics, like dad ko hypertension tha, mom ko diabetes tha, that is where you should look for a nutrition and lifestyle coach. And moreover, if you feel your lifestyle is very difficult, you are very busy, you cannot follow any diet, the diet is really, it becomes unsustainable for you, that is where you should look forward for adopting right nutrition as your lifestyle.
So I am really impressed with that, considering that nutrition and lifestyle is something that can help you prevent diseases. And that is an amazing thing to do. But you know what? We live in a world of science. We live in a period where science beats everything. So everything is broken down into a science and then people come up with stuff like micros and macros, and it is really confusing. So if you can help us break it down, and what are micros, what are macros, and why are they both important?
So again, I'll start with the first question. जैसे आप किसी को मिलते हो और आप बोलते हो you have lost weight, you have gained weight, and the second question is what did you do for that? Yeah. So I just मैंने rice छोड़ दिया, roti छोड़ दिया. That is first thing you will see. I have dropped off the carbs, and then you'll say, can you share your plan with me? Or can you tell me what did you do? I would also like to do that, right? So first thing I would like to say here is one size fits all is a wrong concept. Your body is different, my body is different. Your lifestyle is different, my lifestyle is different. You may have different medical conditions, I may have different medical conditions. You may have different food patterns and preferences, I may have different food preferences, right? So the first thing we have to do is we have to remove the block from our mind that if I want to follow the nutrition, or if I want to lose weight, gain weight, prevent or correct lifestyle disorder, I have to step out of my comfort and lifestyle and do something, right? The first thing we have to do is to go back to the basics. If you remember the balanced nutrition pyramid we all had seen in our school, right? And still, if you say any RDA, agar aap koi bhi RDA dekhte ho, koi bhi food chart dekhte ho, that is what we follow. So what you have to follow is balanced nutrition. We call it quantified nutrition, and that doesn't mean that you are quantifying your food. Okay, quantification means you are quantifying your macros and micros. Now, what are macros and micros? The word itself tells you macro means in the big quantity, larger quantity. Micros mean in a smaller quantity. So macros are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. All your meals are made up of these macros, right? Micros, we need them in a very small quantity, vitamins and minerals, but they are equally crucial. We need them because every time I go for blood test and every time my doctor tells me D3 ka deficiency hai, B12 ka deficiency, and then you have to pop up the supplements, right? So quantifying macros and micros. Unfortunately, we don't count fiber in macros or micros, but I feel that is the superhero of the balanced nutrition. So micros, we need them in the small quantity, as the word itself tells. We need them in small quantity, vitamins and minerals, but they are equally crucial.
Correct.
Right? Every time I go for blood test, every time, after looking at my reports, my doctor tells me D3 ka deficiency hai, B12 ka deficiency hai, and you have to take these supplements. Somewhere we think that we go ahead with fancy diets, unsustainable ways of nutrition, but we have forgotten the balanced nutrition, right? That is where we want to come back to the basics and follow the right quantities of macros and micros in the diet. So it in simple word, it is just eating mindfully.
So you know what? You just used this term called quantified nutrition, and I know it's the new buzzword that is happening in the market at this point in time. You get to see these different fads at different points in time. There is keto, there is Atkins, and then now there is this quantified nutrition. My grandmom and my mother, even my mother-in-law for that matter, turns around and tells me, ये सब करने का गरज नहीं है, ये ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है, घरातली चपाती भाजी खा, you will be fine. Okay.
Right.
Now, to some extent, at the end of the day, if you want to have a sustainable diet, you're going to have to eat gharatli chapati bhaji.
Exactly.
You cannot have a fancy kind of a thing.
Exactly.
So how does this work? I mean, what exactly is this quantified nutrition, and how is it different from the the traditional nutrition of chapati bhaji, but still works with that chapati bhaji? And then there is something called as intuitive eating, eat when you feel hungry kind of a thing.
Correct.
How is it different, and why is quantification such an amazing thing?
Correct. So one thing I would like to ask you, how many times you have seen around you, your friends, your relatives, your family members, they adopt some nutrition pattern, they, follow a dietitian or a simple, fancy or any other diet pattern, they lose some weight, and after 3 months, they go back to their lifestyle and they start gaining that weight back, right? So whenever my patients ask me, what is the, right pattern of losing weight, which diet I should follow? Abhi to aisa hai ki Dr. Google is there, Dr. YouTube is there, Dr. Facebook is there, and patients come and ask me, anti-inflammatory diet kya hai? कीटो क्या है, आई थिंक मुझे जल्दी वेट लॉस करना है तो मुझे यही करना है. अभी आफ्टर दिस एंटी इन्फ्लेमेटरी डाइट has been introduced, there are so many patients who will come and tell you there is a lot of water retention I have, there's a lot of inflammation I have. I don't know how did they diagnose, right? So what I want to tell my viewers is whatever way of nutrition you can adopt as your lifestyle.
Perfect.
This has not to be for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Whatever you can do lifetime is the right way of doing it. So a lot of times you follow YouTube reels or Google videos and you will see microwave use nahi karna chahiye, refrigerator mein ye nahi karna chahiye, and somewhere you are putting all your energy on what you should not be doing, rather than the small changes and rectifications you should be doing every day to make your lifestyle and nutrition sustainable.
Correct.
Right? So now quantification is meant for it. When you say घर का रोटी चपाती खाना है, सब्जी खाना है, yes, because you cannot live without carbs lifetime. So when you leave carbs for a while, your body starts releasing water weight.
Okay.
And when you start eating carbs again, your body will again gain water weight. So what are you doing? You are just roaming around losing and gaining water weight. Right? So that is why you have seen a lot of times there are patients जिनका weight एक ही range में सालों सालों तक oscillate हो रहा है. They are not losing fat, they are not gaining fat. So what I want is we follow quantification. One, because we want to adopt right nutrition as our lifestyle. Second, we want to make it sustainable for patients. They should be their nutrition coach after 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, right? And third is, this is the basics. Right? So even you just rectify the small things in your lifestyle every day, and these are going to result in lifestyle changes, drastic results you are going to get from that. Now, what is quantified nutrition? Quantified nutrition is when you again work on science. This is a scientific approach, purely a scientific approach. When I see a patient, we do a small consultation that is for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, what all we do in that consultation? We want to understand the basics. उनका medical conditions क्या है, उनका genetics में क्या ऐसा issue था. As I said that this has to be also for prevention or correction of disorders or medical conditions. And then we take 72-hour diet history. Now you in your mind will think कि 72 hours का diet history क्यों लेना है. 72 hours का diet history इसलिए लेना है because in today's world you will see people tend to have a very different lifestyle from Monday to Friday. Yep. And Saturday, Sunday is a game changer. Right? Monday to Friday आप diet follow करते हो, कम खाते हो, calorie deficit में रहते हो, and Saturday, Sunday maybe you socialize, maybe you just want to have a stress buster. Food plays like a stress buster nowadays. Then you want to relax, and just for your convenience, you're ordering food from outside. But somewhere you slip into calorie surplus. So that is where the entire calorie manipulation changes. So we take 72-hour diet history. We also try and understand how is their energy expenditure. Okay, because the science is कि आपका energy income जो है वो energy expenditure से कम होना चाहिए. You will start losing weight. That is it. Whatever diet you are doing, it revolves around the same thing. Yeah,
it is that simple.
Yeah, it's that simple. Whatever. So you will see a lot of patients who had been doing intermittent fasting since years, who are doing keto since years, but they are not losing weight because they feel कि ये diet इतना अच्छा है, इसमें आप कुछ भी खा सकते हो, कितना भी खा सकते हो. But if you are not in calorie deficit, you are not going to lose weight.
Yeah, I have done that. I have been on intermittent fasting for 5 years and not lost weight.
Yes. So calorie deficit is the key. मतलब आपको कुछ भी डाइट करना है, आपको कैलोरी डेफिशिट में रहना ही है. बट देन अगेन बिकॉज आई एम सेइंग इट हैज टू बी योर लाइफस्टाइल, सो योर एनर्जी एक्सपेंडिचर हैज टू बी मोर. यू शुड नॉट बी इन अ वेरी बिग कैलोरी डेफिशिट फॉर years together, because if you're eating less, your body is going to show you some reactions, right? Correct. So we take all these details and we calculate certain scientific parameters as BMR. Now a lot of patients know about BMI, right? But they don't know BMR, that is basal metabolic rate. If you're eating lesser than your BMR since years, your body starts utilizing stored fat. Okay, then your fat percentage, because as I said, your goal should not be losing water weight or gaining water weight. Then your total daily energy expenditure, because until and unless I know what is your total daily energy expenditure, I cannot calculate your calories, I cannot put you in calorie deficit. And the last one is TEF, that is thermic effect of food, that is your metabolism, right? So we calculate all these things, and then there is a game changer. We do quantification. We go to the old thali system that where you should be allowed to eat everything from your kitchen. Everything. When I say you don't have diabetes and you're addicted to have a cup of sugar, tea with sugar, it's okay. 5 grams. You don't have to punish yourself for losing weight, right? And we try and build your plan according to your diet history where you are eating everything as you were doing earlier, but the small rectifications are there. For example, enough amount of protein, enough amount of fat, enough amount of fiber has to be added, and you start seeing changes from the second week itself because you are doing small changes for the drastic results.
Wow, so quantification will actually allow me to eat what I want to eat.
Exactly.
Really?
Whatever you had been eating since years.
You know what? I have always thought that dieting, nutrition, lifestyle is punishment. It's like taking sannyas. You quit something only to gain something in life.
Yeah.
But what's the point of living a life if you're not going to get to enjoy it anyway?
Right.
So you're telling me with quantification, I can actually set my micros and macros right, and I can enjoy everything in my life,
100%.
but in moderation.
So what you have to put in your mind is eat right, not less.
Wow, that is really amazing. I really like that. So now you said, while we were talking right now, you said that, it's not a one size fits all. Give me your plan, and then, it doesn't fit really like that. So, how do you determine the right macronutrient or micronutrients that need to go into for a patient? How much does he need, or what does he need? I know you've already said it's not a one size fits all approach. So how do you customize this?
Yeah. So every macro and micro has its own role, right? So for example, you must have heard a lot of times carbs is your fuel, right? So carbs give you fuel for your daily functioning. Protein is meant for your physiological development, your muscles, your bones, your cells, your tissues. So इसीलिए आपने देखा है कि कोई बॉडी बिल्डिंग कर रहा है, वर्कआउट कर रहा है, तो वो थोड़ा प्रोटीन पे, दो इट इज अ मिथ, यू शुड हैव प्रोटीन एवरी डे इवन दो यू आर नॉट वर्किंग आउट, राइट? And fat is for your brain stimulation, right? Fat also plays a role as a fuel, but moreover, it is also very less people are aware ki it is a brain stimulator. So a lot of times your teacher, children's teacher will complain कि इसका focus ही नहीं है, इसका concentration ही नहीं है. So you have to go back and look at it कि क्या हम enough amount of fat बच्चों को दे रहे हैं growing age में, right? Then fiber is roughage, your entire gut health, your digestion, right? So fiber has to play a superhero ka role when you take care of your macros and micros. Vitamins and minerals obviously has their own roles. So now when you are planning your nutrition plan, you have to make it a point that we are not going against the nature and we are putting everything in our plan. Now कितना डालूं, right? So carbs, आपने देखा कि मैक्रो हमारा अगर थाली देखेंगे तो राइस, रोटी, हमारा कैप्स जो है वो ज्यादा रहता है बिकॉज थ्रू आउट द डे वी नीड इनफ फ्यूल फॉर स्मूथ फंक्शनिंग, राइट? नाउ प्रोटीन इज फॉर माय बोन्स, माय मसल्स. नाउ कितना खाना है? इवन इफ यू आर नॉट वर्किंग आउट, एज पर RDA you have to take 1 gram per kg minimum protein.
Per kg of body weight.
Yeah. So for example, your weight is 65. You have to take 65 grams of protein every day.
Wow.
Now it depends. Now, if you're working out, your energy expenditure is high, you want to look little muscular, or maybe, for females who are into their menopause and they are losing their bones and aging हो रहा है, bone decomposition हो रहा है, तो उसके लिए हम लोग थोड़ा ज़्यादा प्रोटीन दे सकते हैं. Now, when I say protein, the first thing which comes to your mind is whey protein and all that. No, this protein has to be from your simple kitchen food. And it is very easy to get that much protein from your daily food, right? Fat. When I say fat, the first thing which comes to your mind is fat is bad. I should not be having fat. मेरे को fat को eliminate करना है. But you have to understand कि which fat we are talking about. We are not talking about vada pav. We are talking about the visible fat which you can see. For example, using little amount of, ghee, butter, and little amount of, nuts में जो fat होता है, protein के साथ जो complementary fat होता है, आप जब cheese खा रहे हो, पनीर खा रहे हो. Lot of times my patients come and tell me, I don't want cheese in my plan because cheese is fattening. But at the same time, they must be having vada pav twice a week. Right? So we have to make it a point that yes, we need fat, but a good fat. and certain amount of fat is required in the diet. Then, as I said, we calculate BMR, total daily energy expenditure, and we calculate everything as per their age, height, and weight. We make it a point that the major portion comes from carbs. Then, according to their goals, they want to lose weight, they want to prevent, then there are certain medical conditions which we have to keep in mind while we are putting carbs, protein, fat, fiber in the plan, that ye condition mein, for example, diabetes. So we have to cut down carbs little bit, right? And we have to give them enough protein. For even for the ladies who are going through PCOS, PCOD, who have hormonal issues. So, and secondly, you will see there are certain lifestyles जिसमें खाने से satisfaction नहीं होता, satiety नहीं होता. So there you can increase their protein little bit, because protein will help them to get lot of satiety from their food. Right? So that is how we determine, according to their goals, according to their scientific parameters, we have to decide how much carb, protein, fat, fiber we have to put, and we have to make it a point that they are getting everything from the thali every day in all their meals.
I guess this is something that really, my next question is more or less answered. I was going to ask you, why should somebody, or at what point in time should somebody consult a nutritional life coach like you?
Right.
A lifestyle coach or a nutritional coach like you. But now I understand why. But there is something else that I want to know. In spite of what you say, that you're going to take all this into consideration, I am pretty sure that if I go to ChatGPT, or if I go to YouTube, or if I go to Google, I will still get one plan to follow, which will have, like, you get these things. 50% of your plate should be fiber, 25% should be. Then, when all these things are available, why would I still need you? And are there any red flags that you see? If you're, I'm sure a lot of our viewers at this point in time, and I've been one of those, by the way, I'm not just blaming you guys, I've been on that bandwagon, have gone and done a generic diet at some point in time, and then faced some issues. So what are the red flags that they should, not ignore? Or and when is the time when that, boss, you need somebody like Baljeet, to help me through the diet?
So Bali, I'm going to launch my first book on this World Nutrition Day.
Wow.
And we have 10 different stories of 10 different busy professionals who had inconsistent lifestyle, who had a very, different kind of their work pattern, and still they wanted to lose weight, or they wanted to adopt right nutrition as their lifestyle. Now, when should I meet a nutrition coach, right? I know I should eat right. I know I should be eating everything from my kitchen. I still know कि मेरे को चैट जीपीटी में जाके, या आजकल बहुत सारे कैलकुलेटर्स एंड ऐप हैं जहाँ पे आप BMR, फैट सब कुछ कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो, कैलोरीज भी कैलकुलेट कर सकते हो, और अपने आप को डेफिशिट में रख सकते हो. There are so many apps who allow you to, if you know everything, you can prepare your own plan on that app. Now, there are challenges like, for example, I had a patient who works as a pilot. Now I fly for 2 days. I have a, off for 2 days. I have a rotational shift, and then I don't get cooking time. Then there are corporate patients who tell me all my meals are from cafeteria, right? Then I cannot eat 3 meals in a day, right? I cannot cook at all. So there are so many challenges and that is where you need customization. That is where you need a personal approach. That is where you need someone जिसको आप एक मैसेज करते हो और आपको सब पता चलता है. And then there are so many myths that यहाँ पे आपको बहुत टाइम लगता है सोचने के लिए कि मुझे डाइटिशियन के पास जाना है, because in your mind you are thinking I'll have to cook my food separately, I'll have to put lot of efforts, I'll have to step out of my lifestyle and comfort if I want to follow some plan. That is where I call myself nutrition and lifestyle coach, because if you want to adopt nutrition as your lifestyle, you need coaching.
Yeah.
Coaching is when you want to ask me, मैं quickly क्या बना सकती हूँ, pick and eat क्या खा सकती हूँ, travel कर रही हूँ तो मैं क्या खाऊँ. When I also want to socialize, I don't want to punish myself. So when I am eating a food in a restaurant with my friends, I still want to come back with the same weight. Yeah. What do I eat? What do I order, right? So because if you are looking at the bigger picture, if you want to eat mindfully, maintain your weight, lose weight, and you don't want to give up on your lifestyle, or you don't want to give up on your ambitions, you don't want to give up on your work, right? That is where we play a vital role, because we need we understand your lifestyle, we understand the challenges you have and we give you the customized solution. So we have females जिनको आप अगर बोलोगे कि आपको डिनर 7 बजे ही खाना चाहिए, लेकिन उनका उनका घर पे पहुंचने का टाइम है 9 बजे, वो सबको सर्व करेंगे और फिर खाएंगे, दैट डजंट वर्क फॉर देम, राइट? So we have to tell them कि that is where 9 o'clock you have to make a very easy convenient meal, जो आप सबको खिलाने के बाद immediately खा सकते हो, and that is the gap you can put between dinner and this. So it has to be a customized and personalized approach.